everybody. I'm Tommy. I want you to know how thankful I am to be here with you. For the first 18 years of my life, I never thought or even expected to be here. You see, I come from a different place than many of you. Good old Cleveland, Ohio. But I'm from the part of Cleveland where the sun doesn't shine that much. And we do the best we can with the cards we were dealt and decide to never fold. I grew up in the inner city, in poverty, and in a broken family, with a dad who is, to this day, a drug addict. My childhood was both struggle and survival. As I grew up, I had no basis of scripture or the Bible, because the people around me didn't even think that the Bible or God was real. Where I'm from, it's hard to believe in a God where shootings are normal, racism thrives, and pain is so prevalent. Yet, even there, I would sneak outside as a little kid to get away from the chaos in the house. And I would look up at the stars and convince myself every time that God was real, because no man or woman could make those beautiful stars. I kept this confidence all through middle and high school, still with no biblical formation. I received a full scholarship to play basketball in college, and all the players would report to school in the summer to train and attend summer school. After the first day of practice in the summer, I received directions to my teammate Rudy's apartment, because Rudy was the only barber on campus, and I needed that teammate discount. Somebody had to take care of this beautiful black hair. So, as I walked into the apartment complex, I saw Rudy waiting for me on the steps reading his Bible. So I asked him, "Bro, what are you reading?" Now, if you don't know Rudy has a very sarcastic and smart mouth. So he continued saying, "The Bible, you heard of it?" Now, if you don't know me, I never back down. So I continued saying, "Yeah, bro, and I know how to read. Who would have thought?" As Rudy started cutting my hair, he started talking about the Bible and what he was reading, and it sounded really intriguing. If anything, it sounded like a really great story that had a lot of juicy details. I remember him talking about this God that I had already convinced myself was real when I was a little kid. Rudy added more to that now by saying that this God has a son named Jesus and that he has so much love to give freely, but people refuse to take it. And with this, he saved so many people from terrible situations. Rudy always used to say this verse pertaining to the act of taking time to read the Bible that comes from John chapter 8, verse 32, that reads, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." I remember asking myself, can you really be free? After that conversation, I began to read the Bible. But I didn't just read the Bible. I started to devour Scripture. I wanted more of this Jesus that saves and loves. I wanted both, salvation and love, without me even realizing it. I started to read at least a chapter a day, every single day, and sometimes much more. When I got tired, I remembered I would take a 2-hour nap or wait till I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and not go back to sleep until I read more. I ended up reading the entire Bible in a year and decided, all right, I'm all in. I'm following Jesus. I gave up sex, wild parties, cheap love, and approval. I started to believe while reading that Jesus Christ could save this little kid from Cleveland that came from heartache, trauma, and pockets of bloodless chapters in his life. As his walk continues, with me accepting his love that many people refuse to take freely, the Bible to this day still reminds me that he can still save me, has saved me, and loves Tommy. We all need that daily reminder. A verse that continues to prove true for me is Psalm 68, verse 6, that reads, The God sets the lonely in families. I live with the Eggmans in their huge house. But what people don't know is that they themselves are better than their house. And they have given me a piece of my childhood back through letting me be a part of their family. They probably don't even realize how much life has been healed because of that biblical promise and their family. Another verse I ran into this week in my morning devotional times was Luke chapter 12, verse 7, that reads, Indeed, the very hairs of your head are numbered. Don't be afraid. You are worth more to me than many sparrows. This verse is something that I'm still learning in because it reminds me it doesn't matter the job I have, how tall I am, what people and family have done to me, failing parents, or if I had or find a wife and get married, because none of them know the numbers of the hairs that are on my head like Jesus does. Therefore, my love is secured. I don't have to search for it in cheap loves like Facebook likes or friendships or dating. When was cheap love ever good enough? Since when was that the standard? It is through being biblically formed, through knowing and hoping in His Word, that I have been reminded that I am free indeed. So, with or without those things, I'm loved. And until these cheap loves can count the number of my hairs on my head, then they are second, and always will be second, to Jesus Christ that lives in victory, and to the God who made those beautiful stars that showed this little kid a long, long time ago. Thank you.